Professor Hiroshi Oguri from Caltech to come and...
Hi, good evening. So thank you, and happy birthday to Spenta. So in my talk this morning, I told a little bit about my meeting with Spenta exactly 30 years ago at a winter school in Kanpur, and that was my first experience of international conference. And but since Rajesh kindly invited me to give this speech, so I saved some photos and some stories that I would like to share with you now. So, so I flew to what is now Mumbai to go to TIFR before the conference, before the winter school. And on the first day, I arrived at the TIFR in the late afternoon. Spenta showed up and said, let's go to dinner. So he pulled out this old scooter that somebody have already mentioned and put me in the back. It was the first day in Mumbai. And then they went to the I have never seen such densely populated street, but he skillfully navigated through it, and I was hugging him from behind, thinking, this is how I'm going to die. And but we went to a very nice Indian restaurant, and Spenta talked all kinds of things, physics, what he's doing, equation motion in string theory, and politics, and all kinds of things. And it was a lot of fun. And then we went to this winter school in Kanpur, and so as I said, this was my first international experience. And we had a lot of fun discussing physics and meeting with people, and also we had lots of fun doing interesting things. So we went to, for example, cycling to Ganga, and so it was a beautiful day, and we went there. But you notice that these bicycles don't have light. So we went to Ganga, and they had a boat ride and came back. It was already getting dark, no street light, and there were trucks coming up, and we had no light. So it was very challenging to go back to the campus. So it was very interesting experience. And then on the same day, we had a banquet. Your son mentioned your fashion sense, and this is an excellent example of that. Actually, there was a physicist from Saudi Arabia, and you actually wanted to try it, so this is how he looked like. And so it was really a very nice experience. And so I have actually quite a few. So this is the last photo, last photo I want to show. So you see Narayan there, and then you see Spenta Wadia, and Professor Ramachandran is there. Vinir Bansari is between me and Narayan. So actually, to get these photos on this occasion, I went to my parents' home in my home country, Japan, in my hometown in Japan. And then I went there. My mother said, I have this album for you too, but I have something else also for you. And it turns out that while I was in India, Spenta and my mother was communicating by telex. For those of you who don't know what telex is, it roughly works like email, but you have to go to post office to send it. And on the other side, they receive it, and then you deliver it to your home. Okay? So this is how it turned out. So I was in India, and I was due to come home before the New Year day. But then, at that time, actually, I was working on the conformal field theory on Riemann surfaces, and in particular, I was interested in how to formulate a Bessel-Zumino-Whitney model on Riemann surface. And I thought I had to study the moduli space of flat vector bundle. So that was before Witten's paper on Chan-Simon theory. So I was reading the paper by Narasimhan and Seshadri. And then somebody said, oh, you should go meet with Seshadri in what is now Chennai. So I changed my plan. So I canceled my flight to go back to Japan. And then I extended my trip and went to Chennai. And I wrote to my mother and my parents that I'm going back home late. But I sent it by regular mail, so it of course took like 3 weeks to go to Japan. So my mother got increasingly worried when I didn't show up on New Year's celebration. And so she wrote a telex to Spenta, and then Spenta kindly wrote back to her. And this is actually the telex that Spenta sent to my mother. Hiroshi was in Kanpur, then went to Madras. That's what Chennai is. We're leaving for Japan on January 1st. He is well, Spenta Wadia. Very kind. So my mother said that I should thank you. And this is from my mother. So thank you very much. So, so I had a wonderful experience, and this is the best one can hope for the first international conference that one attend. And this was a very big, nice beginning of my career, so I really thank Spenta. And Spenta has really been my role model in that sense. He's a leader, and he showed how you can lead a group and motivate and inspire other physicists. But most importantly, he showed by his example how to have fun doing physics. So thank you for all, and happy birthday.